Hello everyone! Once Human just dropped a brand new balance update for the Frost Vortex keyword effect, and trust me, this is a game changer, especially if you're a Frost Vortex fan. So buckle up, because we're breaking it all down right now. Let's get into it. So, why did Once Human drop this update? Well, Frost Vortex had a couple of big problems. First, the vortexes didn't always generate in the right spots, which meant they often missed enemies completely. Second, the damage felt way too slow. It took multiple vortexes stacking up before you could actually deal maximum damage. To fix this, the devs made 3 huge changes. They optimized vortex generation, so it spawns in better locations, making it much more likely to hit enemies or deviants. They boosted the damage massively. A single vortex now does more damage than 3 vortexes combined used to. The only trade-off, the chance of triggering a vortex with Frost Vortex weapons has been slightly reduced. But overall, this update makes Frost Vortex way more reliable, stronger, and faster at building damage. They also adjust Frost weapons and gear to improve the experience of using Frost builds. Let's take a closer look at the Frost Vortex keyword itself. Previously, it created a trap with a 4.5 meter radius, dealing 30% psi intensity as status damage every 1 second for 4 seconds. You could only have 2 vortexes active at the same time. But now things are very different. The damage has been buffed from 30% to 50% psi intensity, and instead of ticking once per second, it now hits every 0.5 seconds. On top of that, they've optimized where vortexes spawn, so they can now even generate mid-air for better coverage. And the biggest change, Frost Vortex no longer has that annoying damage delay. It now deals damage instantly as soon as it appears. Alright, now let's move on to the weapons that carry the Frost Vortex suffix, because these got some serious adjustments too. First up, the Abyss Glance. Previously, it triggered a Frost Vortex after 14 hits, with weak spot hits counting as 2. The closer enemies were to the Vortex center, the more damage they took, up to 250%, plus a flat 30% frost damage. But now, the mechanics have changed completely. Hitting enemies will directly trigger a Frost Vortex with a 7-second cooldown. Each hit reduces that cooldown by 0.5 seconds. Against meta-humans, Vortex damage is reduced by 30%. On the flip side, Vortex frequency has been doubled, and if you're hitting non-meta-human enemies inside a Vortex, you gain plus 5% final Vortex damage per hit, stacking up to 10 times. Oh, and the plus 30% frost damage buff still stays. Next is the Silent Anabasis. This one took a small nerf because of the overall keyword buff. Its chance to trigger a Frost Vortex has been lowered from 15% down to 12%. And finally, the Icy Rain. Previously, it had a 40% chance to trigger a Frost Vortex on a critical hit, reloaded 15% of your magazine after a trigger, and let you hold 1 extra vortex at a time. Now, the chance has been reduced to 30%, but the reload bonus has been bumped up to 20%, and it also gets a flat 30% Frost Vortex damage boost. So overall, Abyss Glance got a full rework, Silent Anabasis was toned down a bit, and Icy Rain got more consistent damage and sustain. But it's not just weapons that got changed. The Frost Tactical Vest has also been updated. Previously, Frost Vortex generated ice spikes that dealt 100% psi intensity as frost damage. Now, those ice spikes deal 120% intensity as frost status damage instead, giving stronger synergy with status builds. Frost mods also received major changes. Cryo Blast used to apply frostbite, making enemies more vulnerable and slowing them down. Now, after triggering a Frost Vortex, you gain plus 4% Frost Vortex damage for 4 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Vortex Multiplier, now renamed Cryo Catalyst, used to give 1 extra Vortex and plus 10% Vortex damage. The new version still gives the 10% bonus, but now, whenever you trigger a Frost construct like Ice Spikes, Ice Missiles, or Ice Crystals, you gain an extra 5% Frost Vortex damage for 6 seconds. Obliteration, now renamed Frost Wave Wither, previously gave 15% final vortex damage with scaling for more enemies. The new version simplifies this into a burst effect, granting 30% Frost Vortex final damage that decreases by 8% each second over time. And finally, the Polar Jelly deviation has been buffed. Previously, its attacks dealt 640% psi intensity as frost status damage and applied 36% frost vulnerability. If a Frost Vortex was generated nearby, it would create bonus ice spikes that dealt 15% psi intensity as frost status damage. After the update, its attacks now deal 800% psi intensity and inflict 39.2% frost vulnerability. The bonus ice spikes are also strong, hitting for 250% psi intensity. This makes Polar Jelly much stronger overall, both in direct damage package and in its synergy with Frost Vortex. And that wraps up the latest Once Human balance update. Frost Vortex fans finally get the power boost they've been waiting for, while deviations are heading toward a more balanced future. What do you think about these changes? Are you excited, or do you feel something's still missing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more Once Human updates, and I'll catch you in the next one.